yourself and letting us know, whoa, got a little hot there.
Right.
Letting us know where you live for the public record.
Sure. So I'm Brian Ingram, owner of Purpose Restaurants. We have 3 restaurants here in St. Paul and recently moved restaurants. We have 3 restaurants here in St. Paul and recently moved over to the Roseville side of things to be kind of centrally located. But 3 of our businesses are here in St. Paul. First, thank you so much for having me here today. So as we've dug into this Leach Street and the vacating of the road and lots of meetings with Public Works, we're asking, I think, for a bit of a contingency. We believe a path forward is more changing the road into a public walkway, pedestrian walkway. In 2022, Minnesota kind of passed an ordinance for those types of things with public roadways. And as we've dug into this and the cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars for this vacation to build new sidewalks and new kind of everything, as we've really spent a lot of time with general contractors and understanding this, we think there's a better path forward. And we met with Public Works last week, and we think there's a better, when we vacate, all of us property owners on Leach Street change our address and Leach Street goes away and no longer exists there. And that becomes very problematic with front doors and entrances for the apartment complex as well as us. So we think a better path forward would be that kind of pedestrian walkway.
Great. So to clarify, is the proposal in front of us not the one you want?
Yeah, it's unfortunately, as we've dug into this, we think that if we were to adopt this, it would mean a tremendous expense for all the property owners there to rebuild the road, change addresses, frankly, change where people enter our buildings. As we've learned more and looked at really other parts of the country that do these pedestrian walkways, we think there's a much easier path forward and one that may make more sense for the city as well as us as business owners.
Okay, and I guess what I'm trying to understand is, are you asking us to lay this over so you can keep working on it? Or?
Yeah, if we could do a carryover, we think we're at we're working on drawings with Public Works and a way to hopefully have this where we can bring it back before you in a more kind of clear and concise manner, yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure I understood
the
ask. Okay.
I can't believe I'm standing here saying this, but yes.
Okay, Ms. Dinker.
Thanks, Council President. Well, Mr. Ingram, first of all, thank you for doing business in St. Paul, and you brought so much life to that part of the West 7th neighborhood. It's just been beautiful to see. So appreciate your commitment and your thoughtfulness about what's going to work best in this area. It's not often that we hear someone asking us to move slower, but that's what I hear you saying. So happy to lay this over. I would suggest maybe for 2 weeks, just to make sure that there's enough time, and then we can always lay it over further.
Okay.
But that would be my motion.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks would be more than enough. I think we're just trying to make sure that we have everything so we can present it hopefully one last time. And, yeah.
All right. Sounds great. So Ms. Dinker moves to close the public hearing and lay the matter over for 2 weeks. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
Thank you.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed, and the resolution is laid over to August 23rd. Item 26 is resolution public hearing 23-205, approving the petition of Jacob Stewart on behalf of the Relentless Phoenix LLC to vacate the portion of DeSoto Street north of Bush Avenue.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, Ms. Dinker moves to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed, and the resolution is adopted. Item 27 is resolution public hearing 23-206, approving the application of Rice and Larpenter Alliance for a sound level variance in order to present amplified sound on August 12th at 1657 Rice Street.
All right, and we don't need a staff report on this, but I'll just say we've all heard reports on Rice Larpenter Alliance. This is our summer block party. It's on the southwest corner. Involves all the businesses in the area. It's the Wolebskis sponsors a stage. There's great music. Comments from local elected officials. It's so much fun. And so I encourage folks to join us on Saturday afternoon, August 12th. But this is a public hearing if anyone else would like to chime in. Seeing none, I move to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 28 is Resolution Public Hearing 23-211, approving the application of Minnesota Children's Museum for a sound level variance in order to present amplified sound on August 12th at 10 West 7th Street, Minnesota Children's Museum.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, Ms. Naker moves to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 29 is Resolution Public Hearing 23-212, approving the application of Kavang for a sound level variance in order to present amplified sound on August 19th and 20th at 75 Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, State Capitol Grounds.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, Ms. Naker moves to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 30 is Resolution Public Hearing 23-207, amending the financing and spending plans in the fire department in the amount of $260,000 for a contribution received from the state of Minnesota to pay for training and equipment for the hazardous materials team.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, Ms. Jalali moves to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 31 is Resolution Public Hearing 23-208, amending the financing and spending plans in the fire department in the amount of $5,000 for the donation from the St. Paul Fire Foundation for the sauna study.
That sounds fun. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, Ms. Yang moves to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 32 is Resolution Public Hearing 23-209, amending the financing and spending plans in the fire department in the amount of $133,777 for reimbursement from the state of Minnesota for training and equipment for the hazardous materials team.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, Ms. Prince moves to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 33 is Resolution Public Hearing 23-213, authorizing the city to allocate funds temporarily held in the Public Works Traffic Engineering Accounting Unit and redistributing them amongst multiple city departments to finance an aggressive initiative designed to mitigate copper wire theft and vandalization of city lighting fixtures.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? On this item, come on up. And if you could, you can go ahead and testify, sir. You can start and then sign in.
Thank you for the opportunity, Council. And in regard, I just moved here about 6 months ago, across the river there, and I noticed the lights, and I'm glad to see that. There's multiple factors for that reason. The homeless people, doing that. Generally speaking, it's people that are desperate in that trying just to get money, and we have, in a way, like I said, glad to see us, but we failed them with the shutdown, and they didn't get the help they need. And I take public transportation, and it's not just here; it's the whole Twin Cities, but it goes hand in hand. If we're not enforcing that, they're going to be out there. And I don't know if any of you have taken public transportation and looked at the transit station. It's out in the open. I've seen recently some law enforcement out there, with a presence. But I'm glad you're going to do that. But it's only going to happen again unless we get to the root of the issue. And I know I'm not privy to how shorthanded people are, but we just need to get people out there and get a presence. Because before the construction down by there, I don't know if you guys ever seen the wire, but it seemed like it was like a free drug zone. But
Yeah, I just want to let you know you're running out of time, and it sounds,
Well, I have
it sounds
7
like you're
seconds.
supportive of the
I got a
resolution.
timeout. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Thank you for the opportunity, and have a great day.
Yeah, and sir, I want to, sometimes people can't hear when they're there, but I want to welcome you to St. Paul. Thank you for being here today and for participating in this process. I think that when maybe a few more months under your belt, and you will come to know that this council and this city recognizes exactly what you're saying, that people do these acts out of desperation, and it's a full 360 that we need to do. This is only one piece of the puzzle. We need to make it more difficult for people to steal wires, and we also need to make it easier for them to access the needs and services that they require. And so we're working on it. It's not easy.
I could tell by the agenda, and this is my first time, and I do like it here. I've got to experience downtown St. Paul like never before, and it's just important that, I guess I'll leave you with this. I've done it for years. Don't give money, offer food, because every single penny goes to you know what.
Yeah.
So that's how we could chip in, before we can get the people out there.
But thank you for coming down and for
Yeah.
being engaged. We appreciate
I'll
your
be
information.
back 3:30 every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, it's a party. All right, thanks for being here. All right, anyone else on this topic? I got lots to say on this topic too, but I'm gonna keep it in. All right, so seeing none, Mr. Ballinger moves to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 34 is Resolution Public Hearing 23-223, approving the establishment of the Landmark Towers Tax Increment Financing District.
And this item was before us at the HRA meeting today, where we had an in-depth report on this topic. So I know staff is available for questions, but this is a public hearing. So I'm looking to see, do my colleagues need another staff report on this item, or was it made clear at 2? Okay, so this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? All right, come join us.
Council President, members of the City Council, I'm Joe Spencer, President of the St. Paul Downtown Alliance. I just wanted to speak in favor of this project and appreciate your support for it. Before the pandemic, just as our organization was getting started, we did an analysis of the metrics in downtown. We compared them against the most vibrant downtowns in America. And what we saw is the most vibrant downtowns have 10 to 15% of their citywide population living in downtown. And even though our population had doubled from 5,000 to 10,000, that gets us to only about 3%. So we put out this goal of tripling the population to 30,000 even before the pandemic. It was the right thing to do now, and today, in this moment, it's especially important. I think the need is even more apparent. And so we just want to thank you for your support for this project. Thank the Sherman Group for moving forward with it, and we look forward to more projects like this and continue to build on this momentum. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hello, Council President and City Council. My name's Amanda Dewar. I'm the Vice President of Government Affairs at the St. Paul Area Chamber. I'm also here today to express our support for the establishment of the Landmark Towers TIF District and the TIF plan before you. The redevelopment of the Landmark Towers is at a critical juncture. The developer, Sherman Associates, must purchase the offices and parking ramp by August 18th. And the developer has worked for over 2 years with the existing homeowners to come to agreement on the redevelopment plan, which will create 187 market rate rental housing units, along with improving parking facilities and streetscaping. Excuse me. It is important to note that unanimous consent amongst existing residents is required for any building modifications, and it's been made clear that this is the only plan that will meet that threshold. The city has the opportunity here to support the redevelopment of a substandard blighted building and create additional downtown housing, which, like Joe said, aligns with the goals of the downtown investment strategy. The proposal before you today is the only viable path forward to achieve these objectives, and we ask for your support.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Council. Clint Blazer. I'm actually one of the 17 that lives on top of the building, and am very excited that you guys are for this, and it passed the AHRA earlier. I've been downtown for a long time. I do know that the city has supported projects like the Penfield and Farmers Market Flats that were 100% market rate and brought the grocery store that we badly needed downtown. So to jog some memories for folks that maybe weren't here back then when we were in a little bit of a mini crisis at that time, and I'm afraid not only here but throughout the United States there's a kind of an impending crisis with the commercial buildings. So I just want to thank you for creating this district. It's needed for downtown, and I think there's going to be more to come. And I don't think we could ask for a better developer than Sherman. And I hope that you guys can move this forward, because I do think it's a tremendous asset for making downtown better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else on this public hearing? Clint, sign in. All right. Ms. Dinker moves to close the public hearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails. I'd just like to reinforce something that I've heard Mr. Spencer say several times. And I think when you started and did the analysis about what is typically a strong downtown look like with percentage-wise in terms of the population, we had been asking that because there was some concern about converting, commercial and office into residential, and we're like, should we be sending out the alarms, or are we actually looking at the wrong number? And I think doing that analysis showed us that in order to have a vibrant downtown, what we really needed was people living here. So I appreciate that as our baseline of where we're headed with a kind of evidence around it. So I just want to say that again, because every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, we've doubled the number of people downtown, and we're not even close to where we're headed. So I appreciate that. Ms. Dinker.
Thanks, Council President. I was in support of this 60 minutes ago, and I continue to be in strong support of this project. I'm really excited to see this redevelopment happening in a critical part of our downtown, and grateful again to our staff, to Sherman Associates, and to all of those who came to testify today. It takes a lot to make it out of your busy schedules and come in and speak with us, and it's great to hear about the impact you think that this will have in downtown, and I fully agree.
Great. Others? Okay. Ms. Prince?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
were just flipping through your notes.
No, I am supportive of this project as well. I do want to reiterate what I said at 2 o'clock, which is that we really need to get ahead on the status of our other TIF districts and how the downtown is going to be working given the challenges of the national commercial real estate trends. And I'm just very concerned that, when we put a project in a TIF district, it's a great thing to get the development done, but we are acknowledging that the increased real estate taxes go to pay off the cost of the project. So we're looking at some concerns about the state of our downtown commercial tax base, and I just want to make sure we're being really vigilant about getting ahead of this as things move forward. But this is a good project, and I am happy to support it.
Great. Other thoughts? And again, for people looking for the in-depth coverage on this matter, there was our HRA meeting, had very good discussion, lots of questions and answers, and I think it was valuable for folks that are looking for a deeper dive on this one. So there is a motion from Ms. Dinker. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
6 in favor, 1 opposed, being Councilmember Tolbert. The resolution is adopted. Legislative hearing consent agenda items 35 through 46 are before you for your consideration.
Good afternoon, Ms. Mormond.
Good afternoon, Council President Brenwell and council members. I'm not aware of anyone here to testify on a legislative hearing item.
All right. All right, so we are now looking at items 35 through 46. If anyone is here to testify on any item between 35 and 46, this is a legislative hearing consent agenda. Seeing none, Ms. Yang moves to close the public hearings and approve as amended. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion prevails.
7 in favor, no one opposed. Public hearings are closed, and the consent agenda is adopted as amended.
Just like that, we are at the end of today's agenda, but I do want to offer the opportunity to share news from the wards or updates or information about fun things happening this weekend, tonight, like Groovin' in the Garden, or other things like that. Anyone have something they'd like to add? Anyone just got back from a trip and doesn't have a clue what's going on tonight?
Irish Fest is this weekend.
Irish Fest is this weekend. I saw the tents. Looks like fun. Great. All right, if there's nothing, oh, Ms. Naker.
Thanks, Council President. I am a little bit out of it, but I was also scanning my email to make sure this was something that was open to the public, and it looks like it is. There's the library is hosting a very informal picnic this Friday night from 5 to 7 p.m. at Indian Mounds Park, and it's to informally thank volunteers for the library. So if you want to stop by and say thank you to the many folks who help make our libraries great, you should come on by.
Right. There's a lot, right? A lot of volunteers, hundreds.
It's gonna be a party.
Party, another party. Great. All right, if there's nothing else to come before us, we are adjourned.